Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons. We're going to talk about Legends of the Multiverse, the brand new Dungeons & Dragons official actual play, starring Deborah Ann Woll. Deborah Ann Woll is really fascinating. She is a huge part of Dungeons & Dragons. And also we're going to talk about drinking, just getting absolute sheet-faced, right? Just really, really drunk in Dungeons & Dragons. Let's get into this. There's a lot here. Okay, so Dungeons & Dragons. It's on an absolute winning roll streak. It's hot at the table, man. It just keeps. It's at the craps table, and it just keeps rolling sevens. Like 2022 is the year of Dungeons & Dragons. It's just winning so hard. It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. So you have all that going on, and They announced in D&D Direct this Legends of the Multiverse, and I will say this, man, I love it. I love the way they're doing D&D Direct generally. They're like, hey, we're going to announce all these things. Here's some of them right now. Like, you can't tell people stuff months ahead of time. You got to give them something now. Like, we live in Americans, man, we don't play. Like, give it to us now or shut up, until you're ready to give it to us. It's a thing. We don't like to hear about things months ahead of time, right? Like, you're like, hey, is that this coming week or now? I got stuff to do, right? So this Legends of the Multiverse, they announced it, and then they just ran it, right? It was going. Tell me if I'm wrong. I could have sworn that Ginny D was announced in it, but she didn't show up. That's kind of weird. I don't know what happened there. Maybe I'm wrong on that one, but I thought they announced that Ginny D was going to be in Legends of the Multiverse. Right now, it's that Brendan guy who used to be on College Humor. It's Todd Kenrick and his wife. It's B. Dave Walters. It's Deborah Ann Woll and some other people I had never seen before. All right, so Deborah Ann Woll is super famous. She was actually in True Blood, and she's like a real Hollywood actress, right? She was in True Blood, and then she was also in Daredevil, okay? And she loves Dungeons & Dragons. She legit loves it, and she's actually a dungeon master as well. And she's playing in this thing, right? And what really she's playing in Legends of the Multiverse, the official Dungeons & Dragons actual play. And these are important because their Dungeons & Dragons telling you this is what Dungeons & Dragons is, right? And that's a little worrisome to me because I'm seeing some weird stuff in this game, but I also am getting that it might be just me not understanding something about Dungeons & Dragons, and I need to reform my appreciation of something, all right? So Deborah Ann Woll had, in my opinion, I thought what she was doing was wasting a huge amount of time drinking in Dungeons & Dragons. And I'm like, this is stupid. This is junior high crap. Oh, I'm gonna have a beer. Now I'm gonna have a vodka. Are we really wasting table time getting a drink and then making constitution rolls to see if we don't fall off the bar stool? And I'm like, this is they put serious money, time, and effort behind this. There's real Hollywood stars here, and we're presenting this view of Dungeons & Dragons that we spend a ton of time, and I mean a ton of time. There was 40 minutes in one session just drinking shots at a bar, right? It's in episode 1 of the Legends of the Multiverse actual play. And I'm like, this is so pedantic and stupid and a gigantic waste of time, right? Now, first of all, I'm a teetotaler, so I don't give a crap about your, player character getting drunk, right? It's annoying and it's just a waste of time, right? But Deborah Ann Woll, a super famous Hollywood actress and a very good dungeon master, spent a crap ton of time getting drunk, right? And having lots of fun drinking at the bar, right? And then I'm like, what is this, right? And so I try not to think. I try not to stop thinking. Right? So I'm like, is there something here you're not getting? And I think there might be. So why are people wasting... Oh, and here's another one, right? Another reason why I was like, you need to really stop and think about this, Scott. In my Sunday game, we recently had a player spend a ton of time, a ton of focus, a ton of game attention on getting drunk. And I was like, why? What is the point of getting your player character drunk? What does it even serve, right? and I think I know. So this is my theory. I'm going to present it. You guys can come at me in the comments. Let me know if you think I'm right or wrong. I think getting drunk now is quickly becoming a used-to-be dream that people are missing that they're not doing now because it is outrageously dangerous in the world in a way that has never happened before. All right, here's why, okay? You used to go out to a bar, like, and this is, I'm a teetotaler, so this is just my perception. Please correct me if I'm wrong. 20 years ago, you go out to a bar, you get completely sheet-faced, you have a fun time with your friends, and you spend a few bucks, right? Nickel shots. I remember in college, they had, like, nickel shots or something, you know. I didn't drink them, but, like, people would come back and they'd be absolutely blitzed. I was a resident assistant, so I'd have to, like, help them to their room and all kinds of nonsense. It was a thing, right? Like, so here's the thing. You did that 20 years ago, fun night. Now, whoo, ain't the same, right? Okay, did somebody put something in your drink, and now you're roofied, and now, oh my gosh, you're unconscious in somebody's place that you don't know? Oh my gosh, what just happened? I don't know what happened. I just woke up. What the heck happened? That is outrageously dangerous, and that is at a rate, and I think right now that can happen a lot more than it did 20 years ago, because the drugs are more easily under control. There's more, like, it's just, I think it's easier for it to happen today than ever. And there's more people saying it's happening, right? That's incredibly dangerous. That's outrageously dangerous, right? Now, everything's through the roof. Alcohol was always expensive. There ain't no more nickel shot nights, right? Like, not only do you risk absolutely horrible things happening, which, one of them I just listed, right? Like, and the list of things that could happen once that happens to you are, they would only belong in a horror film, right? Like, and you don't even not know what happened the next day. Like, that's really scary, right? But now, your wallet's empty. Like, that could cost $50, $100, $150 if you got bottle service, $1,500, right? Or more, right? Bottle service, you can go to $15,000 in a night, right? That's dangerous, right? And you're putting your wallet on the line in a place where you don't have control, like where you're literally imbibing something that doesn't give you any control, like that takes your control away. So now you got a device that's connected to your bank account, and you're literally, like, burning your control away with a liquid, right? Like, that's terrifying. That is terrifying, and more terrifying than ever, because everything's through the roof. All prices are through the roof, right? Here's the other one, right? You go out, you have a good time, you do something crazy. 20 years ago, who cared? Now, you're going to wake up, right? And your little shenanigans on Main Street are going to be on somebody's Instagram with 100,000 views. Drinking is outrageously dangerous. 100 times more dangerous than it ever was, right? Deborah Woll is a legit Hollywood star, and she's wasting her time getting her player character drunk. Why? Because she can't get drunk. She can't go out and drink, right? She has to worry about the fears that I just talked about. She has to, any or one of them, all of them, or, one of them, a selection of them, or literally all of them. Getting drunk is terrifying, right? And so Dungeons and Dragons, while I would really like it to be used for high-end art, like, for some people, they miss getting drunk. And Dungeons and Dragons is a space where they can do it safely, right? They're not going to get roofied. They're not going to get, horror movie list here from being roofied, right? They're not going to lose $15,000 out of their bank account for one night of fun, right? They're not going to end up on Instagram doing something they highly regret, embarrassed, having to do cleanup, having to hire a PR team, having to move, right? And so, again, the whole world just, like, squawks. Oh, Scott, it's just a game. No, man. This is real time, right? We are heading in. If you guys ain't been paying attention, in America, you can't feed a baby now. Like you legit have problems feeding babies in America. We are in a world that is upside down, and on fire. And us dungeon masters, we got the keys. We could take you somewhere safe, somewhere important, somewhere where you can do things you can't do in the real world, as an experiment, as a test, as a bit of comfort, right? And it's important. And I have a better understanding of why people are wasting their time getting drunk in Dungeons and Dragons. That's my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking, subscribing. Have a wonderful millennium.